local fish stores. Dave, we were talking this off screen, and it was like their lifeline of the hobby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's the lifeblood of, like, if somebody's wanting to own an aquarium, or go to a public aquarium and see these beautiful fish and corals, and they just say, "Hey, I'd love to have that in my home." Where do they start? Typically, they go on right to a local store and start looking to see what is available to them, and learn. Um, that's, to me, that without the local fish store, this hobby really doesn't exist.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CVtv Podcast. My name is Carlos, and I have my co-host, David Dockin, as well as a special guest, Jessica Laney.
If you don't know Jessica, she is a sales manager handling the southeast corner of the country, and she has some experience. I think that would be educational, informative for today's show. So wanted to have her on.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Jessica, also, if you haven't talked to her, you can see her on videos. She's kind of like the newest face of CoralVue and doing a lot of videos for us, which is great.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yep.
So, Jessica, today we wanted to talk about how can we, as a distribution company, help or offer suggestions to local fish stores to help them kind of level the playing field as they go into business, or they're partaking into business with online stores, much bigger stores, sometimes with a lot of backing into it. What can a small fish store do? What's their competitive advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jessica, you had some experience with that. I mean, it's obviously you've been in the hobby for a long time as a salesperson for multiple companies, but also you actually had a business in this industry as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's something so special about local fish store. I mean, Dave, that was one of your first core memories to where you are now. It started at the local store. And they're really the backbone, like we're saying, for the support, for the education, to really mentor and guide people that route. And they work their butts off. I mean, these brick and mortar stores, it's not as easy as just walking in, turning on the lights, and people flooding in, just handing over, their hard-earned dollars. So it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And, online, since we did mention that earlier, it definitely has given a big wave to this industry. In some ways, great, in other ways, not so. Um, the mom and pops that have been around for 10, 20, 50 plus years, they've had to really adapt to survive.
Well, so let's talk about that, because and I think that's a great segue into our next little segment in here, and is back in the day, 20, 30, 50 years ago. And I remember when I started in the hobby, there were no online stores. It was just I went into the yellow pages
Yeah.
and looked for fish stores, take the car and go and visit the stores. The stores did never had to compete against other stores in the country. It was more like the local stores.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the competition. It was just a local market, and the stores within that market were the competition. And while that still exists to some extent, now it's more of a global reach with online platforms.
What can a fish store do to innovate, to take it to the next step?
I think maybe the first thing you can start with is your livestock, and taking extra precautions with quarantining your fish, offering that service. Like, hey, this didn't just come in. I've been sitting on this fish for over a month, 2 months, getting him acclimated, getting him pest free. Um, and people have to understand that comes with a risk to the store. So yeah, you may pay a little more for that fish, but you got to know he took the risk. The store took the risk in getting a healthy specimen to you. So maybe that's one example. Uh,
Yeah, Jessica, talk about the let's build it down because I know you used to own a coral store. So I know you assumed that risk. How was that for you?
It was very important for us to choose partners, whether it was livestock or dry goods, that we could trust and really partner up with them. When I say that, we were particular. When it comes to, for instance, dry goods, we wanted products that were MAP protected. We wanted products that we trusted, and we also knew that we could reach out, to that particular manufacturer or company for their support. Same thing with livestock. Unfortunately, sometimes not everything arrives alive. That's that's the tough part with livestock, right? But knowing that you can make a phone call and make things right again. So really doing your research and you know picking and choosing things that are going to help you long term to compete with now this very volatile, on map protected territory at times.
yeah, as a business owner, like you really gotta pay attention to what you're putting on the shelf in terms of that's your money basically sitting. So, if you're investing in a product that tomorrow you wake up and it's below map or it's constantly on sale or there's 80 million reward point day, um, as a store, how can you compete against that? You can't because everybody's got one of these and I don't have my phone in front of me, but I was just like, they're going right to the phone. Let me see what it's at this price online. So, uh, you really, need to, like Jessica said, pay attention to the products you're investing in, the people that you're investing in. Are they standing behind those products? Do they have support? Um, these are real challenges, and these things exist. But my hope is that we try and educate the store owner as much as we can. We put in a lot of time visiting stores. I can't tell you how many stores we've been in, both domestically and internationally. Uh, and we see, it's to the point I feel like I can almost go in a store and know if they're going to make it or not. And every year we have to purge our database of stores that are no longer in business and new ones that are popping up all the time, and really hope to try and minimize, stores that are going under it. And if we can help educate, and this is almost 25 years for me of doing this. So we acquired some knowledge. Not to say we know everything, but I feel like we can surely help. And mentioning that, Carlos, we go into a lot of stores, and you have stores that we just call them ringers, where you get a customer come into the door. That's your customer now, and you need to greet them.
Where's the fish food?
Yeah,
Back there.
back there. Yeah, okay. Hey, make a sale. You know what I mean? Like, or if they come in, they're asking for one thing and you don't have it in stock, but show them what you do have and why you prefer this option over that one. Let me show you what I'm using and the success that we're having. So I just try and say, when a customer comes in, that's your customer, that's your lead to make a sale. Yeah, talking and being friendly, making contact is going to lead to potential sales.
Stores have a wide array of employees, from somebody that is just starting in the hobby to somebody that has actually had a lot of experience. And when you walk in, all I know is that I walk in and there's a guy with the, whatever,
Bob.
local fish store, and his name is Bob.
Yeah.
That means absolutely nothing to me. I mean, it's Bob could be the greatest person, could be the greatest knowledge, could be the guy. He could be a biologist who has raised clownfish for years. I wouldn't know that. So I feel like there should be like a tag which says 10 years of experience, or a little QR code or something that tells me more about Bob. Let people know about it. Don't hide it, because I bet you Bob, if you ask him a question, you can't stop him. You know,
Yeah.
he'll just keep going. So I think that trying to bring out that knowledge, so people are ask me a question. I'm Bob. I 10 years of experience. That would help a great deal, I think. Another thing that I think that could help, and it came to fruition during COVID, is the kind of like a hybrid service where you can do online ordering. So the website, you get your own website, and but I can local pick up. So I can just order the fish that's been quarantined for 3 weeks, and I can just drive up and somebody will bring it out and give it to me. I mean, the option where that the hobbyist that just wants to be on the go, maybe doesn't have time to go into the local store. You don't want to lose that business. You don't want to lose that business to the online seller that lives somewhere in Wisconsin. Yeah, let me offer you that option. Hey, you can still pick it up for me, the local store. I'll just bring it out to you. I'll have it ready. You drive, and I'll have it ready. I'll come out. You're done. So, I think that local delivery, ordering for pickup, I think that would be a great way to help. And there are a lot of stores that don't have online presence.
Yeah. Or even not just an online presence in terms of a web store, but just digital media, a Facebook page, Instagram, some kind of way to get there, promote their store, get the word out.
Yeah. So another thing that I think is key, and I feel like sometimes stores don't do it, is the community engagement.
Mm.
It's bring the community, talk to your reef clubs.
Yeah, reef clubs, Carlos, or just hosting like special events like an anniversary sale, or something that can engage and bring customers into the store for a day, a barbecue event. Come in, we're going to have barbecue, bring the kids. We're going to have a sale on frags. Yeah, keeping that community network is important in this hobby.
Schools are a really big one,
Yeah,
you know?
good.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you mean by schools? Can you elaborate?
yeah. And I know a lot of stores do work with, their little community because they have kids too. But bringing education, and some people have no idea what a coral is or has seen a fish in person. So bringing the education to the youth. Um, And hopefully the parents see, the value in that. And next thing you know, you're growing that little frag to a big ground, an adult hawkus.
We
I know.
actually see it quite a few schools that are taking on marine biology programs.
Yeah.
And then, as a store, you could, reach out to schools and maybe see if they're even interested in setting up something like that, or offering your store to bring in the students to learn,
Yeah.
and then make future customers out of them.
Yeah. Another thing that we can do, or that they can do, I'm sorry, they can do, is partner with local breeders and hobbyists.
Mm.
Instead of thinking of other hobbyists with larger tanks as competitors, instead of competing against, let's team up, let's work together, you know, because this very well, Jessica. You cannot have just one source of corals. You have to have
Need to have plans.
and I wanted to bring this up because I know you know this firsthand very well.
Hmm. Yeah. Actually, when we were coral importers and wholesalers, uh, we were specifically Indonesia, but we made very good friends with an Aussie importer, and it helps give diversity, obviously, in our offerings, but also helps in so many other ways. Like, oh, I saw this little pest. Have you ever seen this before? You learn from each other and you grow from each other, and you're each other's backup plans. Because God forbid something happens to your tank, guess what? Your buddy might have a backup for you to share. So it's an insurance policy on its own by taking care of one another. It's a small community, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna example Dave. Dave, you have a 1,200-gallon system, which is teeming with corals.
Yes.
So, instead of a local store, instead of you selling the corals, what do you usually do? Frag them and take them to the local store. You become that local store's source of corals, at least for certain colonies. And the local store is not paying for shipping. He gets aquacultured already, hardened corals that will likely make it very, in other systems. Is take advantage of your resources.
So that was one thing we see quite often is in their coral sections, there'll be just a sign on the aquarium, hey, we'll buy your, we give store credit for your corals. Let us know what you have. And man, what a great way to support your hobby by being able to go into your local store, get store credit. Okay, now I can buy salt, I can buy carbon, whatever else I need, and you're totally supporting the store, and you're helping feed, basically your own hobby with products you're going to pay for ultimately.
Keyword is sustainability.
Yeah.
You're not importing those corals from the wild. You're not importing them from overseas where, the chances, like Jessica said, the chances of corals making it all the way diminishes. This thing is the guy, if you know the person, if you know the hobbies personally, their tank, they're going to be good corals. Yeah. You dip them, you dip them, you quarantine them already, but that is way cheaper than importing.
Yeah. What a great way to sustain the hobby,
Yes. So, innovation has changed things. The the phone, the internet has changed things and has really reshaped the way the local hobbyist, the local store, does business. And like you said, we've seen where if you don't evolve, you're not gonna
struggle.
be around.
Yeah.
You're gonna struggle.
No
You're gonna
doubt.
struggle. Yeah, I think local stores are key. They're vital. They cannot go away. And but it is part of it is our responsibility as hobbyists to support them.
Absolutely. I mean, like we said earlier, to me, they're lifeline of this industry. So really, I hope people, will not, store owners take this as in a negative light, our recommendations, but it's just trying to educate, maybe let people, hobbyists know the challenges that you as store owners face and help continue to grow and evolve this industry and hobby.
So anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, support@CoralVue.com. If you like what you hear, please sign up, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, just click on that bell. Thank you, Dave, as always. Thank you, Jessica, for joining us, for sharing your knowledge, and we will see you next time.